What's up, Change the Channel podcast listeners? My name is Megan Grace, and this is another episode of Change the Channel podcast. Welcome back to the show. On today's episode, I am going to bring you in to some more vulnerable emotions for me. And I'm hoping that in doing so, it will create connection, some expansiveness, and perhaps understanding of ways that you have maybe felt in the past as well. For this story time and change the channel moment, I want to invite you to, in your mind's eye, imagine a crackling fire, one of those roaring, beautiful ones that has the red, the orange, the yellow, even like the little bit of the blue kind of tinting around the wood. And the heat is just effortlessly finding its way to your skin, to the room. There's so much coziness and this delightful kind of crackling sound in the background. Then also feel free to imagine yourself in the coziest of clothes, the softest textures, the most enticing colors, and cozy up under a blanket that is just the perfect weight, just the perfect amount of softness. And again, something that you almost want to pull up to your face because it provides that much coziness and comfort. And then in your hands, hold a mug that has either rich, decadent hot chocolate, some kind of spiked cider, or, coffee, whatever is your beverage of delight. Go ahead and put that in your hands. And currently in Portland, they call it breezy. I say in air quotes because the wind is just whipping through here. And so it feels to me like the most important thing to do is to set ourselves up to be in a cozy space first before talking about potentially less cozy emotions. So this episode, I am going to just brag on a friend of mine and be vulnerable about a moment where changing the channel was just the last thing on my mind. I was feeling kind of that middle standpoint, that middle place between disrespect, anger, like all my survival mechanisms were coming up. When the past just starts to tune the channel just right to the times in your life when you've maybe felt the most vulnerable, and exposed. And all of those things came in like this crescendoing, like almost like a crescendoing orchestra of, oh shit, that had just found me. And I was in it. I was thinking about things about my work and living situations and just all of these elements that make up what feels like safety, which is why we started under a blanket in the most cozy of places. So I was talking to a friend of mine and I was retelling the story, as we do, sharing what's going on in our lives. And I was so angry, so frustrated. I was so sad. I just felt totally blindsided in a relationship situation that I had previously thought was really safe and good and whole, like there was a lot of wholeness to it. And a different side had shown up in this interaction, as does with people and places and things. And I was really caught in my story about just how hopeless things felt and how intense things were. And I really don't think that it helps that there's like this sort of build up of, the holidays are on their way and like the end of the year. And this time of year feels particularly charged for me and I feel like with a lot of my other clients as well. So I was talking to my friend, was telling her this situation, and it was amazing. it was as if she was a master DJ that took my raw and uncut story and came in just like they do with the turntables and kind of like whoop, like did this cute little like scratch, swivel, and added this beautiful bass tone of heart. And her words just cut me. Like, yeah, they just moved straight through my body. And she said, wow, can we just offer so much love to that individual that created all of this, created a situation where all this emotion could be popping up in you. You are now stepping into a place of owning your worthiness, owning your power, owning your capabilities, dreaming bigger than I've heard you dream in a long time. This person, we just can offer them so much love for coming in as an agitator or an adjutant in this moment that stirred up the pot enough to where she goes, I just see you propelling into the most profound, most incredible next chapter of your life. And in that moment, I realized two things. Simultaneously, it is so important to, number one, know the channel that is going on in your mind. If I was stuck in a looking good conversation or, like, oh, I'm fine, I'm doing okay, no problem, this, that, whatever, I wouldn't have actually told her what channel I was in. And she's a safe person to help be that DJ, that energetic DJ that helps to switch things around. And so there was something so important about being raw and authentic and sharing where I was, because so often we skip that step and then we go straight to the remix before the original track has even been laid. The next thing I learned was that the things that agitate us the most are often the things that we can send deep, powerful, profound love to, because they tell us so much about ourselves. What am I willing or interested in inviting into my space and sphere? What things am I not interested in inviting into my space and sphere? Am I happy with where I'm at in my life, or is there something that I get to tune into to level up in specific ways? As humans, we often are trying to find safety and security, and that kind of becomes this like overriding feeling within the body and priority. And oftentimes, I don't know if it's like this for you, but until the situation that I'm in stops feeling fully exciting or fulfilling or helpful or providing wellness, I don't really fully lean into the idea of falling forward into something new. And I'm so grateful that my friend pointed out that all of this anger that I was feeling and all of this disrespect and all of this just bewilderment, if I took a couple deep breaths and I could channel that into an intensity of love towards the person that brought that in, and also fuel to get under my wings to lift me up and actually help propel me to my next step. Wow. What a powerful reframe. Because let's be honest, there are no shortage of agitators. There are no shortage of people that do not understand what's going on or bring their past channels in and start to, take over the radio on the road trip of life. And they want to play their channel. You're like, no, I'm trying to be in my channel. Instead of resisting that person coming in with their information, with their vibration, with their frequency, my friend gave me this beautiful tool of acknowledging all of the force and power of what that is, and then going in and realizing these are things that I don't want in my life. And now I get to shift into what is the opposite of that. So in this example, I was feeling I was feeling talked down to. I was feeling disrespected. I was feeling kind of scared. This person yelled at me, and all of my body sensations were up armored. So I'm like, okay, I am clear that this is not what I want. What I do want, if I go to the opposite, is I appreciate when people use their words intentionally and use their tone intentionally. Beautiful. I get to call that in. Also, I really appreciate when people respect and honor the differences and diversity of personality and talents that are in our world. And so I love to be with people that are looking for what is possible within the masterpiece of those around us. Perfect. Okay. I'm very clear that that's something that I get to have. Then the next thing is, instead of feeling disrespected, feeling into what would it be like to have somebody hold my masterpiece in such a way that they are pouring respect and kindness within me. What would that build? What would that fuel? And again, in just that one simple shift, simple reframe, not asking me to turn down my tone or my irritation or any of that, but just simply to say, wow, the force of what that is so real. Where do we get to shift that energy? How can we offer love to the source and fuel and power you into the next step of your life? And so as we're in kind of the end of this calendar year, I find myself I'm not a New Year's resolution person. I often feel like it's funny to be like dreaming about my life when I'm in full-blown hibernation stance, where it feels more wonderful to like just be present in the moment or cozy in my bed than it does to think about what I'm dreaming up in the future. I am calling in deep rest and intentional shifting of changing that channel as I'm pouring the intention into the spring. So I like to make spring forward, spring forward moments, which usually happens kind of more around like the end of March. So feel free to join me in that if that's a practice that feels supportive of you. And as we're in this hibernation, cocooning, deep resonating feeling, time and space that both nature and nurture have created, I just wanted to offer you the option and opportunity to give yourself even more grace than usual. Give yourself even more times of rest than usual to assimilate in all of what you are taking in and realize that your body is designed to not always be on the go, but also to rest and digest. So this season, as you're changing the channel, moving from even the intense emotions that might show up at a holiday dinner or, going to a specific party, or, it might be the first time that you've shown up in a party single, or this might be like, so many years that you can't even count and you're just tired. You might also be so excited and elated getting to see maybe a new nephew or niece, or maybe you have just, found this amazing partner and you're ready to bring them to the family, or even just that you've done a lot of personal growth within yourself and you're showing up at the dinner table or at these festivities as an evolved version of yourself. Let's just use the information that we have. When the information comes in, when something feels heavy, when something feels agitating, let's offer love to that agitator and let's change the channel and invite the fuel of all of the emotion that came in to propel us into the what is our next best thing. We honor where we are, we move to what is our next best thing. So this is the holiday edition of that, because Lord knows there's going to be a lot of traffic, flying, people being in each other's spheres and spaces that maybe haven't been in a while. And so this is an opportunity for a lot of energy to be coming up and pouring out. And we get to use all of these moments. Change the channel, podcast fam. You have got this. You are so worthy of love and belonging. You are so worthy of being seen and held and listened to. And the channels that are going on within you, even if it's just for one day, you get to be the DJ of these things, and you can borrow the wisdom from my incredible friend. And if you need to, you can almost just even hear her say like, ooh, can we just send some love to that person? Can we love her because she helped to move you forward into the life that was meant for you? And so Change the Channel podcast fam, I leave you with that. Ooh, thank you. Offer love to that space and offer love to yourself as it fuels you forward into all of which you are meant to do, meant to be, and meant to experience. Thank you so much for listening, for being with me on this journey, and I wish you a happy holidays.